So you're the insurance expert, all right? Car insurance. How do you keep, what's one thing you can do, and don't say not get in an accident, all right? But one thing you can do to keep your rate down.
Increase your deductible.
Deductible higher.
Deductible, higher deductible, lower your rate.
Okay, we're talking car insurance, home insurance, why everything's so expensive, what you can do about it. That's coming up on this Joe Knows Better podcast. I'm Joe Ducey with the Better Business Bureau, and this is Joe Knows Better. I'm Joe Ducey.
I'm Michelle Marin with the Better Business Bureau.
And we are here with Nathan Mason with the Insurance Professionals of Arizona. Thanks for being here, Nathan.
Absolutely. Happy to be here again.
Yeah, man, we get so many, we don't hear a lot of scams, but not about insurance as much. We hear, though, complaints. And I think just in our friend groups and our family, complaints about costs going up. And what used to be small costs, you think, okay, well, now like double-digit costs. Is that what you're seeing here in Arizona?
Yes, we've seen it over the past couple of years where it's been 20, 30, 40% rate increases within a year because of rampant inflation, cost of vehicles, all the gizmos and gadgetries and sensors that are now on vehicles, windshields, bumpers, everywhere. It just makes the average cost of a claim go up. So it's going to cost more for us to pay for it all.
Costs more to fix it.
Yeah, let's talk about, and we're going to talk about homeowners insurance, but also auto insurance. So if you're, if you're into the homeowners insurance, it'll just be a little bit, but auto insurance first. Everybody's driving, right? Even if you're renting, you've got a car. Let's talk about the increases there. Is it because, all right, it's the cost of fixing it? Mm-hmm. These windshields are crazy now, right? Because they have so much in them now with all these alerts that are going on. I don't know if that's part of the windshield process, that they're buried in there. And is that why these are so expensive now?
Yes, they have specialty equipment just to calibrate the windshields when they need to be replaced for all of the sensors that are going on for the the driving that keeps you distance, your
the annoying
cruise
things
control.
I don't know how to turn off, actually. The
Yeah.
thing is like the car in front of you is left. I know, man. I know.
We see that. We have eyes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, so it's all of those sensors, and it takes almost the cost of the windshield just to pay the specialty tech and all the equipment that they've got to pay for in order to get that calibrated again.
Okay. Now, I guess in some ways, the insurance companies probably like the fact that they've got these safety things on cars, right? I mean, that might help in some ways because it tells you, somebody to your left, there's somebody right. Oh, man, a crashing concern. No. They don't care, man. We have these things for no reason.
Well, everybody's got them, but again, some know how to turn them off and some don't. So it depends on whether or not you're utilizing the safety features you have in your vehicle, or are you over-utilizing them and you're reliant upon them instead of paying attention to the road. Yes, you saw the car move, but did the person actually pay attention, or are they on their phone and didn't notice it actually got out of the way?
I have a friend whose car will beep when they're going out of their lane,
and
it'll adjust their steering wheel.
That's the thing I like. I don't like and I guess you can turn these off, but how it actually moves you from, or it slows down. You have your cruise control on, it slows down when there's a car in front of you, but you know where you're supposed to be, you think, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to argue with things that are probably going to may save your life, but at the same time, they do kind of get annoying. I guess I want to talk about windshields. One thing, we had those. I've talked to people in my previous job as a reporter. We talked to people who had a couple of windshield complaints, right, that filed those with the insurance company. And they actually had, and there may have been other circumstances, but I think this was mainly it. They had a hard time keeping the insurance costs down and even finding new insurance. They might have had 2 or 3 windshield complaints in a year. That to me seems... Well, to me, it seems ridiculous. I mean, it's nothing that we, in Arizona, man, these things are all over the place. It's nothing that we did. I mean, I could see if you're hitting people, if you're getting in accidents, I could see that being something that, we don't want to take a risk with this guy. But if it's happening to you and to this car.
You're paying for the coverage.
Yeah, you're paying for the coverage. What do you say about that? Is that something you should think about before you actually file a claim?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is not free glass coverage. It is full coverage glass. So that means it eliminates your comprehensive deductible so that you aren't paying that $1,000, $2,500 deductible on your claim. So you're getting zero deductible coverage, basically. But with the cost of windshields going up, and they are averaging about $1,200 to $1,500 for a windshield, where 10 years ago they were $300.
Yeah, $300.
Do you think that consumers aren't taking into account the increase or the hit on their premium when they go to these businesses that say, we'll replace your windshield and we'll give you $100?
$100. That's minimum. I've seen $300 or all the dinners you could eat for the rest of your life type thing. I mean, yes. So that gets buried into the cost of actually paying the claim. So that's going to jump the rate up. So if the average cost of claims continues to increase because of these incentives, then it's also going to cause the average cost of insurance to go up. It's got to come from somewhere.
So consumers should think twice before going to the business that is willing to give them all these free incentives for them to get a windshield replacement.
Yeah, it's sometimes the mentality of I pay my insurance, I'm kind of owed this versus, hey, I need to do everything I can to prevent increases on insurance.
Right.
So chips in your windshield, if you can, and if it's possible, pay out of pocket. You know, the $40, $50 is all most places will charge for that, and it's not a claim on your record. Insurance companies don't look at just the cost of the claims, but the number of claims overall.
Okay.
So even minor ones can eventually affect you.
So I was getting into the weeds with windshields because it affected me, of course. That's that's what about everything. Everything's back to me.
Most people are familiar with it.
But also, let's get a little bit broader here about some of the things that people should be doing, or maybe are doing that they shouldn't be doing. What would you say? Let's go into those things for consumers. How can you save money on your auto insurance policies?
Besides increasing the deductible,
and increasing deductible from what to what? What would you say is something, and how do people determine that?
Kind of the newer the vehicle, the higher the deductible, I would say. And also it depends on if you have a loan or a lease on it because they may have requirements for maximum deductibles. Some companies only offer a $2,000, $2,500 as a maximum deductible. Some maybe $5,000 or higher. Just depends on what company you have.
So newer, you'd say that high? I mean, I just bought a car and I'm at $500. You would
should
say
increase it.
Should increase it.
You should increase it because the cost of the vehicle itself has a much higher value. The more you're taking on, it's going to be less cost to you. As the vehicle's age increases, of course, the value goes down. So the $500 deductible on a $15,000 car that's 10 years old versus a $500 deductible on what the insurance company could possibly pay out on a $50,000 car, that's more responsibility for the insurance company. So higher deductible on a newer car. When they're older, the cost difference is actually much more minimal.
So you may get hit with having to do some of the repair, more of the repair costs yourself, but the premium policy, the cost is going to be lower.
Correct. And every individual is going to be a little bit different. Most of the time we're writing policies now with at least $1,000 deductible, if not $2,500 on those comprehensive and collision deductibles. Where $500, $250 used to be the normal a decade, 15 years ago.
Right.
Okay. So say let's go into a couple of things. Windshields. Think about it before you actually, maybe look at the prices, try to find out if you can get it repaired for within your deductible. If you've got a $2,000 deductible, you probably can. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look at your cost versus function. Is it functional for you to pay it out of pocket, or is it necessary for you to use the insurance? So one, that plus the cost of the glass coverage for your specific vehicle. If you're paying $200 a year for that windshield, how many times do you actually have that claim? If you're a more defensive driver and give yourself distance, you're probably not going to get as many rocks in your windshield. So, maybe you don't want to carry glass coverage because you're not using it.
And these are market differences in the premiums that can happen from a $500 to a $2,000 deductible.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else? Scratches on the car, those kinds of things. Things you should probably think about before you actually, I hate to say it because you have insurance for a reason.
Man, I was down in Tucson having a good old time, and no joke, someone backed into my car, so I've got this dent in there, and I've got a $1,000 deductible. I think it might be $1,200 to fix. I'm not going to put the claim in. Yeah. It's just no point. Why get $200 out of my insurance? Where I could probably pay cash to have it done and get it done. Maybe $700 or $800.
Okay.
So get an estimate, see how much it's going to cost to repair, then include insurance if needed.
Right. What is your budget? What are you budgeting for? And people should put in the bank, have in the savings account, your deductible. If you have a $5,000 deductible, you should have $5,000 sitting aside because it's going to be a financial hit to you if you don't.
We're going to get into some other savings. I know that, we talk about home insurance, the same kind of thing. Let's get into home insurance a little bit now. There used to be, when you look at it, some small increases, I think year to year, the same thing. Now you see double-digit increases at times. Where do we stand in Arizona when it comes to the rates?
We're probably one of the top 5 for homeowners insurance rates.
Top 5.
Top 5.
That's amazing.
Well, oddly, we get wind, we get hail. Nobody thinks we do because we're in the desert, but we get hail, and then we have a lot of water damage from broken water lines and just leaky pipes. So
you think of hurricanes in this part of the country, you think of, tornadoes in this part of the country, you think of, problems with the cliffs falling in other parts of the country. Here, you don't think about those things. So you think you're pretty safe.
Homeowners insurance doesn't cover landslide. So you'd have to get a flood or landslide policy for that. When you're talking
hurricanes too. That's a separate policy,
correct.
Isn't it?
Correct.
Oh, wow.
In some areas,
Flooding
it's
may not be,
completely
but
different, or they've already got it built into the policy to have a 5, 10, or even a percentage deductible. So you have $1 million house, they give you a 2% deductible. You're paying a hefty, $20,000 just for your deductible on wind damage. So insurance companies are trying to offset some of that automatically just by providing the opportunities in the basic policy. You can always pay more to have a lower deductible, but we just talked about increasing deductibles to help save money. And that's what they're trying to do, offset the risk.
Okay. So what is some advice you'd give to homeowners right now? It almost sounds like every time I ask you a question, I think interrupt before you get to answer. But I think that does it come to the point where people should be thinking about insurance costs when they buy a home, like the years and where?
Absolutely. Newer homes are always going to have a lower cost of insurance. It's just they aren't going to have a claim because everything's brand new, just like the reason we buy a new car. It's not going to break down on us. But as that home hits like 5, 10, 15, 20 years and beyond, the chance of a claim does go up. As well as shingle roofs. Most shingle roofs on homes are either a 20-year shingle or maybe a 30 if you're lucky or upgraded, which gives you that additional time. But that means insurance companies are going to drop coverage, remove, or pay less than like actual cash value versus replacement cost on an older roof. So we're seeing a lot of insurance companies now are shifting to 10 and 15-year-old roofs to ACV or depreciated value. Instead of replacing it, they're going to have a scale of time that's going to give a lower value and payout.
So some things when people are looking at a house, some things that would be an insurance problem. What would you say? You said shingle roofs.
Roofs in general. The age of the roof is important. So get that documentation. I'm not going to throw our realtors under a bus because they get the information from the seller, but they don't collect the paperwork. And so it's very difficult because we as insurance agents have to prove the age of the roof. So we're always looking for the proof of the roof. I mean, where's your documentation? Where's your paperwork?
Sure.
An underwriter wants to know when that roof was, and that's how you get your discount.
Or if it's been redone at some point, you have proof for that.
A lot of people redid their roofs back in 2020, 2021 during the COVID time. Everybody was doing renovations. A lot of people were doing roofs. There was extra funds out there to help people do so. And so you want that documentation because if your roof's only 5 years old, that's a pretty good discount if it's a home built in the 80s or even 90s.
Location, you said, is also important. You were talking about that cabin in the woods. More expensive probably now than, and I don't think a lot of people considered insurance in these cases. They didn't. That was kind of an afterthought.
We never had a problem up until a couple of years ago when they started implementing the fire line scores versus just your fire protection class. So,
explain what that is.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's fun.
This is a new thing for me.
And they've just come out the past couple of years. So your fire protection class is determined by how quickly the local fire department can get to your residence. It's a number 1 through 10 with some letters after it, depending on where you are, with 10 being the worst and 1 being the best. So inside the city, like here in Phoenix, it's a 1, Mesa 1 and 2, depending on so your regular cities are going to be very low. I mean, fire departments are every 3 miles, easy to get there. You get in the outlier areas or start moving a few miles from town, and now your fire protection class gets 6, 7, 8 with a letter like a W, or all the way up to 10, which is considered unprotected.
So the higher the number, the higher the costs.
Yes. Now that's your fire protection class and how fast they get there. The fire line score is really how the area's ability to attend to a mass casualty event. And when I'm saying that, a major risk. So homes on fire, like they were in Cave Creek a few years back. Was it the Diamond Fire up on McDowell Mountain? So those are ones here just locally. We had the mountains were on fire in Tucson a few years back. So those are our big cities where we're having fires right next to them. But now our mountainous areas, Flagstaff, Show Low, Pine, Strawberry, Payson, those areas, those are the issues that we are having because they are smaller communities and don't have the ability to fight off large forest fires, and lots of fuel means lots of happenings.
So when it comes to, would you say the same thing about deductibles when it comes to and claims and thinking twice about them when it comes to houses as you would for cars?
Absolutely. And again, we're seeing more people take higher deductibles on their homes. Used to be $1,000, $2,500 is normal. Now there's hitting $5,000, taking those percentage deductibles, pushing up to even $7,500 to $10,000 just to keep rates down. You also have to remember that the cost of housing has increased a ton. I mean, the average housing cost, in 2020, 2021, 23 was $3,000 to $4,000 for your median home.
Yeah.
Now it's like 4 to 5 or even up in 6. In most homes, you aren't buying in your more established neighborhoods for less than $750,000 to $1 million.
Okay. Well, let's man, we've already gone a lot here. Let's kind of wrap it up here with some things that one more time, some things that people can do to, or should think about to decrease their rates or to keep them. And I'm going to ask you first of all about shopping around. Is that still important? I mean, I remember I used to shop around. It used to be fun. You know, every other year I used to shop around on auto insurance, and I could say,
Joe,
"Oh my
you
gosh,
found that fun?"
I did actually. I loved it, man. $400? What? I could save $400 there? Are you kidding me? My God, that's crazy. Now I don't see it as much. Now things seem to be more comparable.
Rates were so volatile over the past couple of years that shopping around, yeah, you might be able to find something, but everybody was taking a rate increase. So you saved money for 6 months, and then that company took the rate increase. Now you're trying to go back to your other one, and now they're like, now you have too many glass claims, I don't want you. So rates are finally leveling off. They are finally leveling off. The housing, home insurance is the last one to take those big increases of those 20 to 30% over the last year. So we're finally leveling off and seeing those single or low double digits. So 8 to 12% increases as a norm now instead of the 20, 30 plus. And so that's finally happening, which means more companies are becoming more competitive, and they're even opening up to allow maybe an additional glass claim on your record. So it's a lot about what's happening. Everything's steadied out. The insurance companies are actually making a little bit money instead of losing money, which they did the past 3 years. So it's going to make it better.
All right. So let's talk about a couple of the things you could do. We can go over them, maybe if you're repetitive, with either homeowners insurance or auto insurance. What should people be doing?
First thing, look at your deductible. An increased deductible is going to help you lower your rate. If we could stick with auto insurance for one thing, if you have youthful drivers or those that are coming up, look at those good student discounts. Almost every company offers a good student discount, which is just a 3.0 or above, that B average. A lot of companies use telematics. So you're going to download that app and you're going to let it watch you drive. So it's going to check your speeding, your braking.
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.
You want that?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not like that kind of intrusive nature on them, but if they are paying attention and become a more defensive driver, so insurance companies are creating a way for everybody to lower their rates.
Wait, so question, can you put it on certain drivers in the house, or is it all or nothing?
It's mainly some companies you can select it for the driver, some you can select it for the vehicle. So the app knows, and you have to give it permissions. It hooks up to the Bluetooth of your car, or when you plug it in, it allows to have permissions, and it knows which vehicle you're in. It knows if you're the driver. It knows if you're a passenger.
Oh, wow.
Oh, these things are sophisticated.
Wow.
The cars can detect where you are. And they know if you're the operator or not. So make sure you're not putting your phone in the middle of the console. They might think you're driving when you're just out having a good time.
Interesting. So no kids, is what you're saying, right? You don't want your kids on pause. I get it. All right. So other than that, the deductibles, raising the deductibles, so that you're responsible for more of the smaller things, right? So you're not making claims.
Correct. Take out the small claims. The small claims will eventually hurt you.
Okay. Anything else you can think of? The bundling, having the two. Okay.
Almost always, I say 80% of the time, it's going to be the best way to go. When you're saving an extra 20% on a policy, that's going to help you a lot. So the more you can have with one company, oftentimes it's going to be. Not always the case, again, depending on your driving record. So sometimes we do switch those out to different companies just to get the maximum savings because one company is going to be more acceptable than another.
Okay. All right, let's go into you guys. Insurance Professionals of Arizona. You're in Mesa, but you work for, anybody in Arizona, I would guess, right?
We cover all over the state. We're actually in, I think, 45 different states overall. And IPA, Insurance Professionals of Arizona, has collectively about 120 agents throughout the state.
Okay.
The office that I work for, Kent Stewart, he's the fellow that started it way back when, and so he's the president of IPA, but he also has his small office. Well, small. We're about 20, 25 people. Yeah. And working all over the place.
Okay. And you have a number of companies you represent?
Yeah, about 40.
40. Okay. Wow. So you can go to you and you can
figure
out what the best is.
An independent agent has the ability to do the shopping for you.
Okay.
Captive agents like your Allstate, State Farm, they only can offer their own products. Doesn't mean they're bad. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody, but the independent agent has the ability to shop the insurance for you. So they take the fun out of it. I'm sorry. You can't enjoy doing all your shopping anymore.
Hey, man, I'd have just as much fun hearing from you, though. I say $400, so that'd be fine. What's your web address? Insurance Pro?
Insurance Professional, insuranceproaz.com.
Yeah, I think that's it. If it isn't,
Sorry, it's saved in my favorites when I go click on it. I
correct
forgot
that.
it.
Exactly. Hey, Nathan, really appreciate Nathan Mason with Insurance Professionals of Arizona. That's great information. And, man, I hope we save some people some money, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Me too.
I think I'll be looking at my insurance man and raising that deductible.
Yeah.
$500, man. It's too low, huh?
Don't be afraid to talk to your agent and ask the questions. If they don't
Yeah.
have the answers, then find a better agent.
Yeah, that's great. All
That's
right.
a good tip.
That's it for us. We'll see you next time.